What's going on, y'all? It's your girl Ray P, and we are back for another episode of the We Got Y'all podcast. Of course, I'm not here by myself. I am joined by my amazing co-host, friend, confidant, road dog, ace. Well, Trey, Kieron Richardson, aka K Rich, aka Rich, whatever else y'all call him, cool ass Kai. What's going on?
What's up, Rachel? Man, kept the tray on me like Chris Paul in. Yeah, what's up? What's up, Rachel? Shout out to you. I didn't know if we was gonna get an intro. We won't get into it because there are things that we keep. There are things we keep within our lives and not to the audiences. But
For sure.
we it's the NBA final season.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you get to the end of a season in sports, a lot of people say, hey, man, everybody plays hurt. And everybody got some little aches and nicks and things that they're dealing with. And, we may or may not be dealing with the same this morning while we record. But, hey, we here.
Sure.
We're here to provide some content.
Yeah.
Obviously, discussing the Shy. And we're going to go ahead and get into it. As Rachel said, once again, thank you all for joining us, whether you are listening through your speakers, whether you are watching on YouTube. I want to start iterating that and emphasizing that, should I say, that we do have a YouTube page.
Yes.
So if you are one of those people who watch this podcast on YouTube, please check us out there. The information will be in the link tree. If you're new to We Got Y'all, this is a general conversation, not a scene by scene breakdown. And there will be spoilers and explicit content. We are discussing season 6, episode 14, Smoke and Mirrors. Directed by DeAndre Gosfield and Quincy Lanier Gosfield. We're going to get back to them in a minute. It was written by Raquel Baker, and it is currently streaming on Paramount Plus. Obviously a Showtime show, but streaming on Paramount Plus. As far as the synopsis goes, Jake does his best to distract the restless Victor. Alicia makes a deal and issues a warning. Papa takes center stage while Brittany confides in Maisha and Gemma. Rachel, we've been having conversations that kind of started last week. Maybe even the week before then, when I brought the whole Reddit conversation to the table about the Reddit page for the Shy and a lot of the complaints and things of that nature. Obviously, we've been taking the high road. We know what it's like, or we appreciate people creating art and putting it out there. But I think now, I think we can easily say we've reached a point where we can go ahead and wrap this up. And even with this episode, when I was taking notes, there's a certain segment that I felt was appropriate. But before you even get there, I just think that, and I know it doesn't work like this, right? So when a network picks up a show, they're picking up a certain style. So they'll pick up an hour drama, they'll pick up a half-hour comedy, whatever the case is. So you can't really just pivot like that. But I think one of the biggest issues, other than them making up stuff to talk about, this really needs to move down to a half-an-hour show. If you have a half an hour show, I think the show's much better because it cuts out all the unnecessary bullshit.
See, I disagree.
Really?
I like it as an hour. It just needs to be fucking better.
The hour format is the best format. Don't get me wrong, but if they're going to give us, I'm glad you said that. Let me rephrase. If they're going to give us episodes like they've been giving us, then I wish they could move it to half an hour. I know it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I've said it before. I'll say it again. I was floored when I saw that they were renewed for a 7th season. Once again, no hate. Every show, I don't care who you are, the best shows, the greatest shows, you have to end at some point, right?
Yeah.
This podcast was started with Insecure. If Insecure had reached season 7, season 8, and it was just starting to be nonsense, as much as we love it, I'm sure we would have been saying the same things. Like, listen, you've told your story. Like, it's time to go ahead and move on with the next thing. And there's no shame in that. Like, you still produce some great content that's going to live on forever. But I don't want them to tarnish the legacy with what we've been getting. They're better than this.
Yeah. Okay. So there is a show currently also streaming on Paramount Plus, but it was on Showtime and I think it was on BET Plus for a second, called 20s. If you let
I think I know where you're going with this. Go ahead.
So I watched 20s in real time on Showtime and again on BET Plus. It is also produced by uh Hillman Grad. I'll say that. There
Mm-hmm.
is an episode. The basis of the show is there's three friends who all are working somewhat in the TV industry. One is trying to be a writer, one an actress, and one like an executive. And there's a discussion that is being had in one of the early episodes about black shows having the right to be bad because everybody else gets the opportunity to just make whatever kind of art, and we as black people tend to hold our shows to a different regard instead of just letting the art just be, and we can have some bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Howsoever, I think that we've gone past that because there's part of me that agrees with that. Yes, a show can be whatever. Howsoever, what the fuck is happening? Like, I don't want us to lose the plot in just being happy to be able to be creatives and the just being able to make art to get a show on there. Like, I don't know what the fuck the Shy is doing. And it's
Rachel,
crazy. Yes.
they don't know what they're doing right now.
It doesn't make any sense for us to be so far into the season, all these chopped up unnecessary scenes, unnecessary adding unnecessary characters, not understand wanting to give black people an opportunity instead of truly developing the storyline of the main characters. It does not make any sense. And so, whereas we started this off a few weeks ago, upon learning the knowledge that it had been renewed, being excited like hell yeah. Now I'm like, I don't know what a season 7 looks like. And it need if it's going to look like what this second half and first half of season 6 has looked like, then we need to end it. We need to stop the bleeding.
Well said. Well said. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Um, to echo on that, it is. I don't know how everyone else's subscription works. I know with my Paramount Plus, there is an ad for 20s before the actual episode comes on.
Mhm.
I know maybe based on algorithms, who knows? Maybe it changes up by what you watch. So I always get an ad for 20s right before the new episode of The Shy. And there is even in that promo a quote so alluding to what Rachel said as
Mhm.
far as supporting things because they're black. And it's like, no, we're supporting them because they're good and they
Yeah.
happen to be black. Obviously, there's a lot of irony in that because Film and Grad Productions produced one of the most um, not just from our perspective, if you're familiar with the Culture Garden, because we discussed this movie, but just overall, a few years after the release of Queen and Slim,
Mhm.
a lot of people in Hollywood kind of started like gently saying, like, "Hey, this was a let's wrap our arms around this project as a community versus like this wasn't really."
Yeah,
People now are able to start coming out and say, "Hey, man, that really wasn't that good of a movie."
like I've been saying.
Like you've been saying, yeah, it's a lot of people that are kind of like, all right, like and I get it, right? As black people, there are certain conversations that you want to have in the house. Family business stays family business. I do believe there is something about like dogging certain things in the general public because it
For
leaves
sure.
the door open, for other people who have no business commenting on it to comment on it.
For sure.
However, there also needs to be those conversations, those the reverse of what Issa said, those secret white emails and secret right meetings. Like there needs to
Yeah,
be some secret black meetings where we
for
have
sure.
these real conversations about what's going on. And
Well,
once again, go ahead.
I was gonna say, not to cut you off, I'm sorry. We saw secret black meetings, quote unquote. If you remember, if you watched Netflix's Black AF,
Yeah.
um episodes 5 and 6 are my absolute favorite of that whole season. I know it was greenlit for season 2 and then got canceled, I think, by Kenya. But there's an episode where Kenya Barris has been given a movie to review, and the
Hmm.
shit is terrible from his perspective, and his daughter, who is also a film student. So he has a cookout. He plays the movie for the family, and everybody loves it. And he and his daughter are looking like, what the fuck? And so he gets on the phone with Tyler Perry, Lena Waithe, Issa, and I think Malcolm D. Lee. And they are talking about the movie. And Tyler Perry says something, and it's probably what made me not start fucking with Tyler Perry, but just like respecting him a bit more beyond the easy jab to talk about Tyler Perry movies. You know what I'm saying? But just
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
no, I don't make movies for them. I make movies for my people, and my audience enjoys them. Fuck whatever everybody else think. The people who I'm making the movie for, the shows for, they enjoy it, and it is what it is. And so I'm like, fuck it, okay, I can respect that. Howsoever, there's also a scene where Kenya and Lena, ironically enough, agree to tell the truth about the movie in this secret and during a private screening. Nigga, she get on there and praises it, even though she trashed it, and Kenya stuck by his
Hmm.
guns, like, it really wasn't all of that. But so I'm saying all of that to say that there is room, and I do genuinely believe that those secret black meetings are happening. But are we not gleaning anything from are the powers that be not gleaning anything from those meetings to be like, hey, let me help you out. I got a writer's room that looks like this. Let me send somebody over here so that, because right now you got the baton and I want to help you run with it. Let me send some somebody over here to help
Yeah,
you.
yeah, you're absolutely right. One of the things you said that really stood out, and we'll go ahead and get into the episode, but one of the things you said is when your audience, like Tyler Perry said, which I respect, man. Shout out to Tyler for his messy casting choice for his new movie. Tyler, my dog, man. If y'all don't know, Tyler, my dog, man. I understand the criticism, but he's hilarious to me.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I make things for my people and my people enjoy it. Well, here's the issue right now with the Shy. The audience that it's made for is no longer enjoying it. And that should be a clear indicator that it's time to wrap it up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not my main issue as we get into the top part of this episode is Rachel, you said it, you're throwing in these random storylines and these random events. I don't even mind them as long as you connect them. Like they
Mm-hmm.
feel random. Like there are things that are just happening. I actually like strongly enjoy great television that makes you pay attention.
For sure.
That has something that happens in season 4, episode 5, and it doesn't come back around till season 5, episode 3. Like
For
things
sure.
like that, I really enjoy. This is just like let's just throw shit at the wall and see if it sticks,
For
and it's
sure.
not sticking, and that's my biggest issue, and that's going to kind of lead right into this first segment that I was thinking of
Mm-hmm.
as I was watching it. Um, and I want to call and like I said once again before we start, shout out to the shot, man. Like
Shout out
in
to
the
the shot.
words of in the words of Flip, man, you can't erase what we were, right? They can't erase what we were. But it is also just respectfully, it's people who enjoy this space, who enjoy art. It's cool, man. It's
Yeah.
cool. It's just time. It's time. All
Yeah.
right. I don't know, like you said, Rachel, what season 7 could be about. Maybe we get an idea in these last 2 episodes. Um, but I don't, unless these 2 episodes are phenomenal Game of Thrones, Wire, Sopranos level of television, like I can't see. I don't make any creative controls that we got y'all, but I necessarily can't see we got y'all being back for season 7. I just
Yeah.
can't. I can't see us
Yeah.
going through this week by week. Respect. And with that respect, I'm going to say the first segment that we're going to call this is "What the fuck are we doing?" Um, because that's literally what I was thinking. I've been thinking it for the past couple of weeks during certain moments, but now I feel like it needs its own segment. And this is just a quick hit list of things that happened this episode that we're not necessarily going to take time on. I want to acknowledge it because they did happen, but genuinely, what the like for real? What the fuck are we doing? What the fuck
Yeah.
are we doing? And maybe Rachel, there are some things you want to add and you disagree, and they need a discussion. But otherwise, I just want to highlight it because they did
Yeah.
happen, and then we
Yeah.
can get into the real things that are probably worthy of discussion, right?
Mhm.
Um, as much as I enjoyed the Nina and Keisha conversation when they were
Mhm.
having their tea, I did appreciate that. But LaPortia and Nina, what the fuck are we doing? Like, I don't need that at
Yeah.
all.
Unnecessary.
Unnecessary, right? I don't need that. Even if you are, like I just said earlier, how you're kind of putting things in. All right, we saw her come back next episode. She's
Mhm.
back again, or last episode, she's back again. Cool. Cool. Like I see you connecting the dots. I still don't need it. Don't care about it. Don't need it. Way too much other stuff going on. The first lady angle.
I don't know what the point of this is. I want to keep the first lady angle only because if I'm in that writer's room, if we're sticking with Tatiana in this story, in
Mm-hmm.
this season, in this series, there are a couple ways we look at this. Okay. Young Jake being turned out by this older woman. Okay. That is something to be explored. You know, we're assuming where we know everybody's of legal age, quote unquote. That's fine. But we saw in this episode where Tatiana is kind of playing Jake to the left for the first time because usually she's the one that's pressing, she's the aggressor, and he just kind of lets it be. So, giving the timing of this, I don't know if this is a reaction to Papa inquiring about Tatiana to Pastor Zeke, or the embarrassment of showing up to that party and seeing Papa and everybody kind of seeing her. And so her cover is lightweight blown, or she's playing with Jake's ass because as an older woman, you know how to manipulate a nigga, especially a fucking little nigga. So that is something that you could play with. Do I need it? No, but there's ways that since you gave it to us, it can be made better. Oh, the other thing is that she is the catalyst to expose Papa and to Pastor Zeke. The realness of Pastor Zeke to Papa.
That's cool. I can go with that. I can go with that. And I like at the end of the episode when Papa even brought it up, Papa snitching ass, when he brought it up to Pastor Zeke, I was like, okay, I'm cool with the storyline, like you said.
Yeah,
I just want a little bit more expedition on. Let's get to the other
for
side.
sure. You got to do something with it.
Yeah,
But
you gotta do something with it since you introduced it. Yeah,
yeah.
it's not enough, man. And it
Yeah.
also brought my favorite line of the episode
Mhm.
because I just felt it was so real when Papa comes in, which is funny in itself. Like, Papa, why are you even here, bro? You know you
Yeah.
got to be a Hallelujah night. You know any flyer you giving, none of these niggas are leaving here
Yeah.
to come to church, man. And shout out to everybody who's been, to the
To a
church
Halloween night.
events. Hallelujah night, the lock-ins, all that stuff, man. Shout out to the
Trunk
church.
or treat.
Um, right. Trunk or treat. Trunk or
Yeah.
treat is always a success. But my thing is, Papa, like, getting damn well ain't nobody here coming to that, Hallelujah night. However, that should not deter you from
Mhm.
leading those to the Lord. Um, and seeing her there was obviously one of those, oh shit. Like, I think everybody, it reminded me of, in a very small way, it reminded me of Love Jones when Wood brought Nina to the house party.
Yeah.
And so was Nina in, she gotta have that, oh shit. Like, I didn't know, like, these
Mhm.
people were gonna be here. And that's
Yeah.
kind of what Tatiana looked like. I didn't know, like, I was gonna run into Papa or anybody else.
Yeah.
And once again, going back to my favorite line, because I've been annoyed to this point where You just kind of let it loose, and Pop was like grilling Jake. She's the pastor's wife. I know, nigga. Like stop bringing that shit up to me, nigga. I know who she is, bro. Get the fuck out of here. That was just hilarious to me because there's always that point. I'm like, nigga, get the fuck out of my face. I know.
Right.
But yeah, hopefully they really. I'm sure they will because they've already started laying the groundwork for that. Once again, cool with the storyline. Let's go ahead and speed this up as far as what we need to know about it. I could have been. I would have been cool with whatever. I'm gonna save my biggest gripe of the episode for the last. Rosalind and Serena. Once again, the fuck are we doing?
Do not need this at all. You met this. What is the fucking timeline of the Shy? Because now you just flew in this fucking sign language where you knew nothing a week ago. What are we talking about?
That was
You
the first thought I had.
You that cool and that comfortable. First off, we don't even really know why you're here. That's number one. Even now, all these episodes in. Two, now you just got a stud, which is fine. But what the fuck is the point of this? Y'all so cool. Now she needs to go get a gun from Douda to protect you. She looked like she from the streets her damn self. You don't got nobody else that you could get a gun from.
Right. Well, we know Southside Chicago is very small. Smokey's is the only restaurant. These are the only people, the only women. We know that.
It's no fucking body else. What are we doing? And Douda just like, nigga, what is happening? In this shit. Go ahead.
Yeah, in that whole thing. Yeah, Rosalind, Serena, that whole thing. And I thought the same thing as you. Like, hold on. Didn't last week you said you needed to learn how to sign? Now you signing to Douda? Like, and putting this stuff together. Okay, cool. All right, cool. That's what you say. It reminded me of Think Like a Man when I forget, Gabrielle Union and Jerry Ferrara, who y'all might know as Turtle or Proctor and Power.
Yeah.
When he came home and his house was being redecorated. And Gabrielle Union was talking to the decorator. Now, with that nigga at the end, it was like one of those, like, you speak Italian? Like, what the fuck? Like, I've been with you since college. No, you speak Italian? That's right. How that felt. Like, you can sign? Like, when that happened? All right, whatever. Yeah. I don't need that. We can go ahead and wrap that one up. Jackie Long's character, who we didn't even get his name in this Damien angle. Why? For what?
Why?
For what? And so you mean to tell me anytime anybody needs a job, the game plan is just to go to Emmett, hire him in Smokies, call it a day. Like, everybody in Southside working Smokies now.
Yep.
All right, man. Whatever.
What the fuck was that voice Jackie Long was putting on?
I don't know.
You wanted to come off aggressive. You've been hardened by 6 years in the pen for this armed robbery. Is that your 6 years in the pen voice? Because I feel like you could just use your voice. I don't know how old he's even supposed to be, because clearly
why are you running with him?
Why? He's your watch out, your lookout, but clearly he was a kid. So what is the gripe? And obviously I'm not about that street life, so I don't know, but I would assume, especially if you're using children to do your lookout work and your bidding, that sometimes you just gotta take whatever comes, and that's how the game go. He said Darnell asked him to take the fall or to say he was alone or whatever, but it just doesn't make sense. And how the fuck did you find Darnell fresh out the pen?
You out like, and low key, you trespassing, like you on somebody's stoop damn near. Like, bro, wait till I get to the street.
That part.
It's Chicago, my nigga. I'll shoot you.
I know people who work in programs. So there are plenty of programs that will get you a job, or at least try to help you get a job out of the system.
Yeah. So the voice was one thing that I noticed right away, like you said, Rachel. And Jackie Long, just as a person, is a jovial kind of more. I don't think he's a comedian per se, but he has more of a comical style.
For sure.
And a lot of things he's been, even though Soulman is a comedy, even his like thug role in that, like it's more comical. Maybe he felt the drama role is something he needed to bring a different element to. Once again, we don't even know his name. Like we didn't get that at all. And trust me, I searched. I'm like, maybe I'm tripping.
Yeah.
We did not get his name. And my biggest issue is that we have 2 episodes left now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are you bringing this whole new storyline in? Like, you're not. Even if it was a great storyline, I really don't care. Like Damien's new, I don't care about none of it. Like it's just not necessary. Put some more time into the things we do care about, and we can go from there. And we know we're going. All right, I'm coming here to make your wife a living hell. Even the talk that Damien had, like Damien, like we work at the same place, nigga. That's his point.
Right.
That's his point. I should be coming straight out of jail and working at the same place as you because your pop said you was gonna be somebody. Like whatever. All right, don't need that. While I do like the storyline, okay, or at least like the potential of where it's going to go, you can keep this throwaway scene. We don't need it. Like, give us more of it. Give us a few scenes in the next episode. Kenya and Zay. Like, what are you trying to do with this? Like, I get the car scene. You ain't gonna tell me about everything you'll do, whatever. But just to have that one scene and that's it.
And that's it. They're not doing enough with the scenes that they have. Because I do like the Kenya and Zay, where that could go. But I don't understand this one car conversation every 4 episodes.
So you take out Jackie Long and Damien scenes, you take out the Rosalind and Serena scenes, and boom. Now you got a little bit more room to kind of play around with this Kenya and Zay.
Yeah.
I would like that, especially with everything going on with Pastor Z. I would love to see a little bit more of that, especially everything going on with Zay, with what we know he did last episode.
For sure.
I'm curious to know what you think about this. This is in my what the fuck are we doing category. DeAndre and Quincy. So we know that they're the first principal gay couple on The Chi.
Mm-hmm.
I think they introduced that in the first half, right? First half of season 6?
Yes.
Right. Which is cool. No issue with that. I believe in representation and all that kind of good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, that's not the issue. The issue is, why is it, once again, at this point, 3 episodes before the finale, and you're starting to add this storyline in, and now you got DeAndre, I believe, or Quincy, I forget which one it is, that's Quincy's cheating and all that stuff. Like, what's going on? Like, there's too many other things going on for us to really care about it. Also, I mentioned we're going to get back to the directors. DeAndre Gosfield and Quincy Lanier Gosfield, I wasn't aware. I thought they were siblings. They're partners.
Oh, okay.
And those characters are named after them.
Mm-hmm.
So once again, I get the one of the personalized things and put that in there just a little bit late in the season. Maybe if you introduce this in the second episode, I can believe it as a viewer. But even then, you have too many other things that are going on to really add this story in there. It's just too much.
Yeah. You've shown no reason prior to being mad that DeAndre won't cut ties with Douda for wanting to cheat on this nigga.
Right.
Where did this come from? Why do we need it? I would rather, if you're going to explore a conversation between the two of them or build a Chi verse around them, I would have rather you spent more time getting into their relationship, because for you to all of a sudden want to cheat, it has to be more than him not really being willing to give Douda up. I would rather we spend that time you truly explaining who Douda is, since he clearly doesn't know or can't see past what he's done for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need you to be thumbing through your ex's shit. You know, like, what do we need this for? Or Tim, whatever it was.
Yeah, whatever, man.
Unnecessary. Throw it out.
Unnecessary. Once again, unnecessary. And then lastly, in my what the fuck are we doing section of the show, there's some legs here. So that's why this is last. But Rachel, when I tell you I was pissed off, my nigga Alonzo dies, and all we have is a throwaway line while Alicia is talking to the judge. Now, we haven't seen Rob. I'm sure there's going to be more conversation about this once we see Rob's character. But that was a big deal. A big thing that happened. We just saw how much Alicia, whether she was playing with Shot or not, we know Alicia fucked with Lonzo. We know that because the first time he showed up, she had the Google eyes from him. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
she was on him. You mean to tell me I'm expecting the episode to kick off? Like
Around
Trig
that,
don't say nothing.
for
Trig, your
sure.
lawyer, your attorney, you don't say nothing about Alonzo. Like
It
nobody says
does
nothing about
not
Alonzo.
make
I thought,
any sense.
honestly, Rachel, I thought the banging on Trig's door was somebody coming to alert him that Alonzo died. He's been murdered.
Yes. Yes.
And I was like, hold up, like we just, and I'm thinking about it. We going halfway through the episode. I'm like, nobody's brought this up yet. Like, am I
I
tripping?
thought I was
Is this
tripping.
is is this just me showing my love for Leon as an actor versus Alonzo as the character? Like, is there something going on with me that I'm bugging?
No,
Like, what the fuck is going on?
it makes no sense.
What are we doing?
It makes no sense. It
I
makes no
said it.
sense. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I said it last week. Like, if you're going to do that, and that's fine. Like, I'm shout out to Leon for getting the role and all that. But if you're just gonna like have the grand opening, grand closing like that, like get the budding actor who's looking for a real job that might like
Yeah,
get other looks because of this. We all know Leon. We love Leon, but Leon's above that,
for
in
sure.
my opinion.
For
He's
sure.
above that.
For sure.
So I don't know. Whatever.
There it You're giving us all of this other shit, but it is so unnecessary. This is where the meat should have been of this episode. Even if there
Facts.
are outliers and other things that happen, because multiple things can happen in a week or however long these episodes are supposed to be timeline wise, but it just does not make sense for the magnitude, quote unquote, of who Alonzo was, for it to be nothing, to only get throwaway lines. Oh, can I get a new lawyer? Or whatever Alicia even said in the meeting with the judge. Shout out to girlfriends, Maya Wilkes' mama. But
Mm-hmm.
it just it was disappointing and totally unexpected, because I, like you, got through the episode. I'm like, what the hell? That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And even if they save it, quote unquote, for next week, it doesn't make sense, because now it's out of chronological order. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not sequenced right, even if you do give it the attention it deserves in the finale or even next week. It doesn't work.
Doesn't work at all. It was just disappointing to me. I would have bet the bank that the bulk of this episode, like you said, Rachel, will be discussing that and the
Yeah.
fallout from that, because that's a big. Let's think about this in real life for a second, right?
Hmm.
Let's think about it. If I'm Trig, like I'm on trial for my life, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I have an attorney show up, attorney that is invested in me, has the
Hmm.
same interest in me, even told me like, hey, don't thank me until you're home for good. Like he
Yeah.
cares about my well-being.
Hmm.
This person all of a sudden has been murdered, which we don't see. Like you don't see attorneys just getting popped unless
Right.
there's some deep, dirty, dark shit going on behind it, right?
Hmm.
For that to happen and nobody even have any questions or nobody have any kind of reaction to that, that was just very odd to me. If that was in Trig's case, I'd be freaked out. Like, what do you
Yeah.
mean my attorney got murdered? That means somebody know I'm sitting at home. I can't leave.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a sitting target at this point. Like somebody, whoever came for him might be coming for me next.
For sure.
Right? Alicia, once again, your ex-husband, somebody you still love, you still have feelings for, to have a throwaway line with the judge, whatever. But this leads into something that I found very interesting. And I don't know if this person meant it this way, but I'm going to take it this way. And we're going to have a brief conversation about it, Rachel.
Okay.
So shout out to YouTube viewer
Hmm.
Deborah Emmett.
Hey, Deborah.
Deborah left a comment on the last episode, and the comment was brief. It just said Alicia had it done to control Trig, right?
Hmm.
Alicia had it done to control Trig, and I wasn't sure exactly what Deborah was speaking to,
Hmm.
because when I read the comment, I had already watched this episode. I watched
Yeah.
that like yesterday afternoon, so I was thinking like maybe she's talking about the whole getting him out of jail, and then I was like, well, maybe Deborah's saying that it wasn't Douda who called the hit on Alonzo. Maybe it was Alicia who called the hit on Alonzo,
Since Zay is who killed him.
since Zay's who killed him.
Okay.
Maybe the show did something good where they
Hmm.
do the old like look this way, but I'm doing something over here.
Yeah.
They have the Douda Alonzo scene in the streets. Remember Douda, like,
Yeah.
who the fuck are you? Like, I don't even know
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
which kind of plays out. Like it would have been a big jump. Maybe not how Douda's been acting this season, but it kind of would have been a big jump for Douda to meet this dude in the middle of the street and then order the hit on him that same night. Right? Without even really knowing his intel, who he is, this, that, and the third. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know, well, at that point, I know you with Alicia and all that. I don't fuck with Alicia. So that gives you the idea as a viewer to like, all right, then Douda did this. But I
Mm-hmm.
do like the idea of Deborah mentioning Alicia did this so she can control Trig. And it
Yeah.
ties into her meeting with the judge.
Yes.
Aren't you tired of putting black men in jail? Let's get Trig out. Her pulling up on Trig outside the court. You
It should
welcome.
be the real shooter.
I'm just saying I like that theory that
I
Deborah put
like
out
that.
there.
I like
And
that.
I'm like, ooh, maybe that makes sense. And like you said, Rachel, the fact that Zay did it. Because remember, Douda even brought up Zay this
Yes. How
episode.
do we
Like,
know? Hmm?
I know it was him. So how do we know Alicia still don't got that line connected to him?
Yeah.
Hey man, I need you to do me a favor. I got something for you. Ain't nobody gonna have to know it's you.
Yeah.
Boom. We haven't even seen Douda mention the whole, like nobody's taking credit for this yet. Right?
Correct.
We just assume because Zay runs with Douda that Douda called the
Mhm.
hit. I just like that theory. What do you think about
I like that theory as well.
it?
Um, even though we know that she still had feelings for him, again, the control aspect is right up Alicia's alley. It's what she's all about. She tried to control Rob, she tried to control Tip, trying to control Bianca. Everybody in her orbit, she's controlling. So it would only make sense that now here comes Alonzo back into the picture, who she can't control. And I need this nigga Douda out of here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I need the nigga whose name is fucking short for Trigger to do it. Because my
Yeah.
son and Emmett ass can't. You know what I'm saying? So he has to. I like that. I didn't even consider that. Shout out to you, Deborah. I
Yeah.
like that a lot.
Yeah. And I'm assuming that's what you meant, Deborah. If that's not what you meant, go ahead and take the credit for it anyway.
Yeah, for
Go ahead
sure.
and take the credit for it anyway, because it's a sound theory, something that I actually would enjoy.
Hmm.
And I'm sure it's all going to reveal itself here in the next couple of episodes. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into some of the, more in-depth conversations. There are
Yeah.
still a couple things that are throwaways that I want to mention. I don't think they're what the fuck are they doing moments. They're moments we care about, but we just didn't have a lot of time to talk about it this episode
Yeah.
because they didn't give us much. One is, first of all, let's get some justice for Maisha. Right? I'm glad she was here. And where the fuck is Jada? I said this last week. Where's Jada?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what Jada is.
She at the
But we're
house
not even,
with other kids. I don't know.
I guess so. We don't even have to go down that rabbit hole. But justice for Maisha, we do get her back this episode.
Mhm.
She does not, just woke up this morning and decided she doesn't want to do music anymore, feeling like a job. Okay, I get it. Focusing on photography, getting her Renaissance woman on. She wants to
Mhm.
try everything, which I get. Rachel, as you've always said, we have to remember these are kids
Yeah.
or young adults,
Young adult.
respectfully to them.
Uh-huh.
And they are trying to find their way through life, what they're good at, what their calling is, all of that. I get it. But just for her not to really, you can tell they don't know what to do with the character Maisha now that Kevin
Correct.
is gone.
Correct.
Which makes me believe maybe they weren't fully prepared for the actor who played Kevin to leave.
To leave.
Because otherwise, you would think that they'd have this kind of mapped out and ironed out. But
Yeah.
she's doing her photography things, taking some great photos at the party.
Mhm.
And I think that obviously rolls into the big thing she was a part of this episode was being with Gemma when Brittany. Go ahead.
That picture she took of Bakari, that flash,
Mm-hmm.
that has to mean something.
I'm thinking so.
If I'm in that room, that has to mean something. That is not necessarily a foreboding, but it's gonna be relevant. Go ahead. It has to
I
be.
believe so. I
Yeah.
believe so. I was just gonna go. One of the biggest parts of the show Maisha was a part of was the
Mhm.
scene at Gemma's when Brittany, obviously she's been commissioned to do some photography, a paid gig, of course,
Mhm.
for Brittany. We know she don't fuck with Brittany, even though she ain't gonna say it out loud.
Yeah.
But Brittany is in the room and tells Gemma and Maisha that she works for Douda and her job is to spy on Bakari. That's also how she got the money to go ahead and fund Jim's apartment.
Yeah.
Want to get your thoughts on this? This told me a couple of things. How naive certain people are, and you see this a lot. You see this with Jake. You see this with Brittany in this sense, where people are just doing things for you, dropping bags of money off, and you just think that, all right, cool, it's all good. Like, nah, nigga, like there's always a price, and it's more than what you want to pay. Trust me,
Ain't
every
nothing
single
in
time.
this world free. And
Nothing.
I've said it on the Culture Garden. I've said it on We Got Y'all. On Peacock's Praise Him.
Yep. Perfect
Playboy
analogy.
said he don't deal with desperate people. Because when you do anything for money, you will do anything for the money. And here it is. Here is Brittany, this struggling orphan, adult orphan, who knows what she was doing wherever she was and how Douda found her.
Adult orphan is crazy, Rachel. But go ahead. Adult orphan is fucking wild. Keep
That's
going,
right.
man.
Have you heard of Natalia Grace?
No.
Okay. Look up Natalia Grace. That's like this.
Oh, wait.
She an orphan, but she an adult, but she little, so she was like pretending to be a kid. And she be terrorizing the families that adopt her. Look it up, it's real. It's like in trial. So
Oh, this
anyway,
is like a real life. This ain't no
no,
show. That is a real
in
person.
real life, yeah, for sure, for sure. So
The
he
Curious
found
Case of Natalia Grace. All right, my fault. Not to get backtracked. I'll definitely look this up after we record.
yes,
Go ahead.
yes. So he found her from wherever, brought her back to Chicago. I feel some kind of way that, and maybe it happens in the next 2 episodes. Bakari clearly lets on at this party that he's not fucking with Brittany.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why Brittany thought that he would. And here's the thing. She been gone. Candidly, she don't really know Douda. She don't really know shit about this nigga. She clearly don't even know that Douda has already stepped to this nigga about the book.
Mm-hmm.
You thought he was gonna keep that shit low until that ain't how the game go, baby. When you give up
Right.
information at any point, you have to be prepared for the outcome of that decision. You know what I'm saying? You got to be prepared for the consequence. She wasn't prepared. She didn't know that it would get back to Bakari so soon, because the reality is, and this is Douda's fault because Douda is off his game. He should have held it. It's nothing else you can get from this nigga at this point, because now that your cover is blown to Bakari about this book, there's no more information you can get from him. You're not getting back close to this nigga. So that means now there's no more money coming. And the whatever, although strained relationship you have with your brother is now done.
Yeah.
If you had to spy for the money, you should have started with something a little smaller. Something that you weren't the only one privy to the information. You're the only way this gets back. Now I can't fuck with you. Go ahead.
Then I even say it's crazy. Shout out to Bakari for not like showing his hand. Because that
Yeah.
could have easily been a moment where I pull you to the side, like, fuck you, get out. Like, I know
Yeah.
you want the one that told, nah, he still kept that information low. So, like you just said, Rachel, she doesn't even know for real what's going on. Because we know the complication of their relationship and their upbringing, that could be a million things as to why
Right.
he's not fucking with her at the moment. You
Right.
know, there's just a very complicated thing that 1 minute they could be cool, 1 minute they couldn't. And
That part. For all
you
she
know,
knew, he was going down memory lane and thinking about, oh, this bitch left me, and now I'm
yeah,
mad. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
Uh-huh.
And your spidey senses should be tingling because last episode, or maybe the one before, you know, when he dapped you up and pulled you closer, like, I heard you got some money out here. Like, so you know that he's getting more information.
Yeah.
So, like you said, play it cool, keep it low. I'm laughing because when you said that's not how the game works, I automatically thought of one of my favorite clips / gifs from The Wire. Wood Harris, who plays Avon Barksdale at the basketball game. That's not how the game is played. You can't do that. And that's a fact. That's not how this shit works.
Yeah.
So that whole Britney, this is the worst. Is it espionage? Is that like
Yeah.
they call it spying? Espionage.
I
Worst espionage job
you
ever.
know,
Yeah, ever.
yeah.
On both
And
ends, on Britney's end, and I listen. I wish I had a supervisor that just didn't check in with me the way Douda and his people check in on Britney, because them niggas, you don't even seem like you care about what Bakari doing. And Bakari's been kind of keeping it. I guess that's the only thing that could be reported. But you even get some more help from. We'll talk about Douda and Professor, and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just one of those. When I look at everything, I don't see I don't see what the Britney storyline does. Like, does Britney make it out live? Does she get capped because she need to do the? Like, I don't know what it does. I don't know what the end game is for it.
I don't either. They don't
I'm
either.
really having trouble seeing it.
But I like that part of this was some redemption for Maisha.
Yeah, straight up.
Because here you go, Gemma. You played me to the left, high key, call a spade, and now you win some shit with Douda. The same
Mm-hmm.
nigga that tried to kill your daddy.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, Jake. Let's talk about Jake and Trig a little bit. We
Yeah.
talked about the opening scene briefly, where Jake is knocking on Trig's door, and I really enjoyed that, Rachel. I really did enjoy. Shout out to Men's Health Month.
Yeah.
Here we are in June. I did enjoy the fact that Jake, like, hey man, I woke up and I just felt like you needed somebody to check in on you,
Yeah.
or needed somebody over here. Clearly, I was right, because you having, you sleeping with cold sweats and panicking, grabbing the gun, like, yo, my nigga, like, I'm just here to say what's up. I brought you some breakfast, all of that kind of good stuff. And I do appreciate just that brotherly, like, I know you're going through it. I know you can't leave. I just wanted to make sure you're not going crazy. Now I'm finding out that your girl left. Fatima's out of here. Well, damn. And, Trey's trying to tell him to stay out of grown folks' business. Nigga, I'm grown.
Yeah.
But all in all, like, hey, I just came here to make sure you was good. I do appreciate that. Once again, if we talk more about Trig, just a couple outliners, because it wasn't a Trig heavy episode. Obviously, only in television would he get his case dismissed that quickly. I'm not even mad at him getting the case dismissed. I'm not even mad at that. I'm just mad that it happened the very next episode.
Yeah.
That's what I'm upset about. Like, you get usually these things take, even in Power, nigga, they got Ghost and Tommy sitting a little bit longer than that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so the fact that it happened, and it was like, those happen, those little I forget what she called it, the Brady rule, whatever the technicality was that got him released. We're not gonna act like those don't exist.
Yeah.
Just seems a little bit like forced for this whole episode. And you build up this whole DNA on the car situation just to be going that quickly. It just felt a little cheap to me.
Yeah.
Just felt a little cheap to me. And obviously, we talked about at the end of the episode, Alicia pulling up on Trig outside of it. And shout out to Luke James, man. That mustard jacket that he had on. I need to find out where he got that, man. It's kind of cold. I don't know if I can pull it off, but I'm gonna try. But that was kind of cold. But speaking of jackets, they gotta be. I think the show is trolling us at this point with this damn leather jacket. They know what they're doing. They trolling us. Like, shot, take that fucking jacket off.
Take that fucking jacket off, bro.
Like, listen, I like, shout out to Beyonce. I like when Beyonce, I mentioned her. Yeah, man, if you watch me on YouTube, you see Rachel got the Renaissance shirt on. I only mention that because Beyonce obviously is not, I don't even know if anybody can tell me the last Beyonce interview that took place. However, Beyonce be paying attention.
For sure.
And there's certain things that people say on the internet. Like, the last moment I remember is something about her hats, cowboy hats, and then she made a post where her hats just kept getting bigger and bigger. Like, she just to show, like, I be paying attention.
Yeah.
And I think the shot did the same with this. They know we talking about this jacket, and they just gonna keep like having shot in it because it's not even the style.
It's not as, but that can't be the case because pre-production is over.
You're right. But I think they knew. They might have known. Like, hey,
that
this
it would be a thing. Yeah.
Come on, take that jacket out, bro.
I think he's Shaft.
He must. But yeah, Trig and Jake and the whole house party, whatever. Like, I shout out to Trig for being better than me. I know you on house arrest, my nigga, but I've said this before on many of the platforms. I'm not even the biggest people person.
Yeah,
Yet, let alone young people. You're not about to have these young 19, 20-year-olds in my crib, right? Get the
for
fuck out
sure.
of here.
For
Talking
sure.
about some, yeah, they can stay till 11:30. They ain't coming till midnight. Nigga, I'm sleep. Like, we're
Yeah.
not about to do this, right? Because
So,
I can, having a Halloween party at the crib is one thing, but I don't, what's the point? I don't know them. Like, I'm not getting anything out of this.
yeah.
I won't be stressed about my crib being torn up or broken and all that. Like, so whatever. I get the sentiment. Just wasn't a lot
It's
going on
only
that I
here
really
because you can't leave the house.
right. Only here because you can't leave the house. Um, let's talk about Papa.
Yeah.
Papa, Pastor Zeke.
Mm-hmm.
Pastor Zeke got his hold one.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Little
I,
Stanley. And Papa's name Stanley. It's Stanley, right?
yes. Yes.
Yeah, man. Stanley out here.
I'm worried about Papa, and I said it last week. I'm hoping that during his final conversation with Pastor Zeke today, when he brings up Tatiana, I'm hoping that that puzzled look we saw upon his dismissal was the light bulb starting to go off in Papa's head. Here's the thing. On the surface, what Pastor Zeke is doing, like you want to build this community center, this, that, and the third, all for that. It does take money. I'm all for that. However, what we know that this nigga is a scammer. Papa, in his limited life experience, cannot pick up on something in the water not being clean. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Um, the naivete of it all, it's not even jarring, but it's just disheartening because whatever happens with Pastor Zeke, with Zeke, is probably going to affect Papa's relationship with God. And I hate that for him.
Oh, I never thought about it like that. That is a very if you talk to anybody just in real life,
Mm-hmm.
one of the things, especially those who either A had a relationship with the church. Um,
Mm-hmm.
let me ask you this before I
Yeah,
even say anything else. Relationship with God or relationship with the church?
both.
Okay. Anybody who's had the curtain pulled back on their pastor
Mm-hmm.
or one of the prominent deacons
Mm-hmm.
or just any kind of spiritual father slash mother, you find out, and we know they're human, but something about finding out that Superman bleeds
Yeah.
is a little bit different. That can be its own conversation in itself. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
we hold certain people to certain standards. However, it is important to know that I'm coming to you for this specific need in my life, and I
Yeah.
expect more. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I forget that one pastor who got. It doesn't even matter. We're not going to go down that rabbit hole. Um, Pastor Carl, I think. Then he get anyway. The point is that is a great point because that happens a lot. There are people who are in their 30s and 40s who still don't have a relationship or church, and you ask them why, and they say because the people leading the church, they phony, they this and they that.
Yeah.
Even Zay, but even Zay, who's somebody, Zay's the perfect example of somebody who can identify both.
Mm-hmm.
Like, your dad's a charming man, not charming enough for me to write him a check, but charming. I'm still gonna show up to church, whether he's going there for Kenya or not, whatever. They can still see the difference, and I don't think Papa's gonna be able to do that.
For
Or
sure.
maybe he's so remorseful for his actions that he actually maybe leads back in his father's path of
Maybe.
the church and preaching. I'm hoping that's the case. But usually when somebody is that, it'd be one thing if Papa was hanging with people who shared the same devotion and love for the church that he did. But when you hang out with Bakari and you hang out with Jake, it's
Mm-hmm.
easier to just be like, you know what, you right, y'all right. What
Right.
y'all doing is right,
Yep.
and what I've been
Yep.
doing, like, nah, at least this is the evil I know.
Exactly. I just thought about this. When you mentioned Zay, when we first saw Zay at the church, I had this whole diatribe about Zay being from the country, so he probably just a church kid who took a different path, you know.
Yeah.
Now I'm wondering if Zay was there doing work for Douda.
I can definitely see it. That's a great pool. I didn't think about it, but you're right.
Mm-hmm.
The Kenya thing came out of nowhere. Kenya seemed like a little extra bonus.
Right.
I think he would have. Ooh, that's a great point, Rachel, because somebody like Zay, once again, south side of Chicago is only but so big.
Right.
Like, I know where I can pull up on you at.
I know where I can
I ain't
pull up
got to come to church. I ain't got to come to church to pull up on you.
that part. That part. And consider Douda, we know that they're meeting at the cigar lounge and they have a relationship side eye. Douda can't come to the church. Not for real. Now that he's been uncovered as Otis Perry is due to the criminal mastermind of the South Side, he can't come. But my worker can. Especially
Yeah.
the one that's not from here, who the community ain't already super afraid of. It's not Nuck.
Yeah.
So we can go collect and or deposit money via him. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm gonna drop this money off. I'm not giving you none of mine. I ain't cutting no check. However, I'm gonna come
That's
do
a
the work
great.
that we got to do.
That's a great point. Damn, great pool, Rachel.
Thank
Great
you.
pool. Everything you just said was on point. Yeah, Douda definitely can't step in the church. If Douda step in the church, they're gonna be treating him like when Big Red stepped up in Jimmy's
Exactly.
funeral.
Exactly.
Like everybody gonna be looking at him crazy. Like, bro, what are you doing?
Exactly.
Um, yeah, great point. Great point. Didn't put that together, but yeah, Zay is getting it from all angles. And like I said, he got a little bonus with Kenya in this whole situation. Which I'm sure I wonder if Douda knows about that, but whatever. Because he don't like anybody having any kind of outside life.
Right. Right.
I don't know if you had anything else you wanted to say about Pastor Zeke. I just think that shout
Hey,
out to the building fund.
yeah.
Shout out to you if you know, man. Shout out
For
to the
sure.
building fund, man.
For
This needs to
sure.
be built. But obviously the big thing, Papa, in my opinion, stepping out of bounds.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Asking certain questions,
He is.
can you trust your wife?
He
Which
is.
is, I don't care if you and your wife have the most tumultuous relationship that is known to man. My nigga, don't step to me and ask me if I can trust my wife. Like we don't. You a kid. You are a child.
And that's exactly why he did. Because he's a
Mm-hmm.
child. You
Yeah.
too comfortable. I hate saying stay in a child's place, but you don't quite know your place because I've been cool and I've been showing you the rope and I've been giving you in because I'm letting you into what it is that I be doing. So Papa is misunderstanding the nature of their relationship again because he's a child. And Pastor Jackson was strict, but Papa low key do got a smart mouth. So even his boundaries with adults in general is tricky, you know? And so given that Zeke has invested so much into him, he feels like I can trust you and I can come to you and genuinely ask, but you don't even know from a social standpoint, we ain't there yet. You don't have the bandwidth, information, knowledge, anything to be asking me shit about anything,
Facts.
let alone my wife.
Facts. I'm a big like don't fucking double talk me.
Yeah.
Like say what you say. Like in the latest episode, I don't know if anybody out there is watching Ghost. Power Ghost. In the latest episode, Method Man's character, Davis McLean, had a moment where he said, you need to find a faster way to say whatever the fuck it is that you're trying to say.
Yeah.
And I really like that line because I believe in that wholeheartedly. Like, don't give me the runaround and all these. Do you trust your wife? How much do you trust her? Like, bro, what are you saying? Like, what are you trying to tell me right now?
Yeah.
And Pastor Zeke's reaction also told me that he knows his wife be out here. The same way Pastor Zeke be out here doing what he do, his wife be doing whatever on the same length. He knows that it's probably, a lot of people, ignorance is bliss. I know you out here doing shit, but if I don't know, shout out to Mario Winans. I don't want to know.
I don't want to know. But what circles are you doing your shit in that fucking little ass papa
Yeah.
is privy to it?
That's the part. That's the
part.
That's the disrespectful part, because
Mhm.
why? I think we tried to when we talked about Kenya and Pastor Zeke, one of the earlier episodes, we tried to guess the age of Pastor Zeke.
Mhm.
Because we were trying to figure out how old Tatiana might be based on that, or what the age range could be. And
Yeah.
once again, even right now at our age, Rachel, if a little nigga came up to me and told me
Bruh.
some business about some shit like that, it might be
Bruh.
going on in my circle. Like, hold up, like, why? What's going on that you know this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the type of stuff that make me go crazy.
But that was my thing. That was my point when we talked about how Tatiana was playing Jake after that conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, now you
Mm-hmm.
standoffish. So did he say something, or are you just playing with this little boy?
Yeah, I don't know, but obviously she gave him a look. She gave Papa a look when she came in.
For sure.
Once
For
again,
sure.
Nina Love Jones. She's going up those steps. She gives Wood that look like nigga. She kind of
Yeah.
gave one of those looks. I am actually curious to see how this plays out and where it goes.
But I
That is
don't
one of the
know
storylines.
why she didn't anticipate seeing Papa. When you met Jake, he was with him. You know
Because
that
I
he was supposed to
probably
be at Hallelujah night, but
that's
that's
probably why. That's
that's
probably why. That's your friend, but nigga, you supposed to be preaching. You leading some shit at Hallelujah night. Like, it's not optional for you. You got to be there. So she was probably thinking, but in the same breath, nigga, you the pastor's wife, nigga. You should be there too.
you're supposed to be there too. Exactly.
Coming to
Exactly.
drop off chips.
Bruh.
Stop playing with me, man. Stop playing with me.
Playing with
For
me.
real.
Please. Please stop fucking playing with me.
Uh,
Oh,
I got I don't know if you had anything else to say about Pastor Zeke. I was going
that's
to talk
it.
about
I'm just ready for
Marcus.
that nigga to go.
Yeah, Marcus and Tierra. All right, I'm down to three. We're down to three topics left. These
Max
are
and
the three
Tierra.
most: Marcus and Tierra, Nuck,
No.
and of course Douda, Alicia,
Got it.
Douda, Professor Gardner,
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh yeah.
So, where do you want to go with those three? Which one do you want to start with?
Let's go do the Professor Gardner.
Okay.
I wasn't gonna put that in your what the fuck are we doing, but it's a little bit of that. I
It is.
appreciate that they have a relationship. I just thought it was gonna be more. When we saw them sitting together, I thought that they was actually homies, because nothing after last week let us know that Bakari was going to tell Professor Gardner the truth about what happened to his laptop.
Right.
When he stepped to Douda, you got to be a miserable man. I thought there was more of a rapport that they had. And also, obviously, Pastor Gardner, Professor Gardner is reading what Bakari is writing. So does that mean that he ain't changed no names in this book? Like, what are we talking about?
So I took that thing. I took that as the viewers didn't see what happened, but I
Mm-hmm.
took it as Bakari ended up telling
Him
Professor
everything.
Gardner, hey, I had this laptop. I work for Douda.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe thinking that he doesn't even know who Douda is, or
Yeah.
whatever the case is. And I actually went to high school with this nigga.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming all of that went on behind the scenes, because when it first happened, I'm sitting there like, did I miss something? Like, is there something from a previous season that connected this dot, or is this? And of course, they had the line like, just because we went to high school together doesn't mean you know me.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to that. I remember when I started hitting around the age 25, 26, and niggas really started to move weird. And people were like, you know him? I'm like, nah. Like, I used to say I know people. And I'm like, actually, I went to high school with them. I ain't talked to them
And
in
I
8
leave it
years.
right
I
there.
don't know this nigga. Like, I don't know this
For
nigga at all.
sure.
But yeah, I guess that was a connection, and it was, cheap, but I can appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, Southside Chicago's only but so big. All these niggas went to school together.
Right. And candidly, that's fine. We very well could have gone to school together. But to know that Otis Perry is Douda, and to have a pretty accurate assessment of him, I just thought I was looking for and needing, quote unquote, more from their relationship other than just having gone to high school together. Did y'all at one point run together, knowing we know Otis is smart as hell? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what else is it other than we went to high school together? So I feel comfortable. I'm audacious enough because of a 30-year relationship. 30 years ago, y'all niggas was in high school, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I- it just didn't give that for what we know of Douda and just street niggas in general. Not even street niggas in general. Over familiarity with me, I don't do that. So
Right.
it just was strange. That's all.
It felt, and I guess I could give this credit to the writers and to the show in a sense where I
Hmm.
guess if I'm looking at it from a real life perspective, it kind of makes sense because it feels like they crossed paths on some high boss shit throughout the
Yeah.
years, but never enough. They've never really had a conversation. They're
Right.
still, for some reason, there's something about Professor Gardner that he felt there was some kind of enough of a relationship to step to him like that.
Hmm.
And he knows Otis.
Correct.
He doesn't know Douda. I know the origin. Like, I'm not surprised by who you are. Well, no, I can't even say that because he even said, like, you go recruit kids who are just like you. You put some money in
Exactly.
their pockets, you give them a little bit of advice, and then you ended up like kind of
You call
derailing
them
their
bully.
lives. So
Yeah.
he know, yeah, he talking about you still the same bully in a leather jacket in the hallway.
Mhm.
So I was gonna say maybe he knew from his character in high school that this is what he was gonna be. But obviously his ears are low to the street, and he
Yeah.
knows like Douda, Otis is out here doing all this. And
Mhm.
I'm connecting the dots. I'm assuming Bakari told him or he read it in the book.
Yeah.
So to your point, Rachel, maybe he's not changing any names. But he felt comfortable enough to step to him on something like, I need you to let him go. Which is kind of, if you know all this about him, I don't know why you think he would do that. Especially if you don't have that type of relationship with them
That
to
part.
make that shake, that's a little bit
That,
odd.
that
Like,
part.
you know what to ask for, and even shit, even the people I could ask a favor for like that of, like, I wouldn't even be so forward to it. You got to understand, people like Douda aren't just doing freebies. You have to bring something to the table that makes it worth his while.
Right.
Like, if I'm doing this for you, what are you gonna do for me? And
Mm.
then that's how people like Douda operate. It's a
Yeah.
barter system. Like,
Favorite
you,
state.
yeah, it ain't no one and done and we done forever. Nah, you in my pocket. Like, if I'm doing something for you, I need you in my pocket for a little while to do some things for me as well. What
Right.
that could be, I'm not sure. But I did just think it was a little bit of an odd. I appreciate them being in high school together. I appreciate them knowing each other.
Hmm.
But we saw right away, dude was like, man, get out. Like, get out, bro. We ain't doing none of that.
Yeah.
Even laughed it off. Like, you want your money back? Like, bro, I'm not
Hell yeah.
explaining nothing
As
to
a
you,
matter
none of that. Actually, yes, I do want all of it.
of fact, motherfucker,
Yeah,
laptops ain't cheap for people who ain't got 30,000 plus dollars disposable income to be
right,
handing to 20-year-olds for nothing. Shit, I'm a professor, probably not even
right,
tenure.
right. Since, nah, straight up. Whoop. Um, since we're talking about Douda, do you want to go ahead and talk about the ending scene with Alicia as well, or do you
Yeah.
want to talk about something else before we get there?
No, we can do that. It just didn't. I don't even want to say it didn't make sense, but it didn't make sense. I appreciate Alicia. I appreciate Lynn Whitfield in many a way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she didn't. You showed up with keys. He thought it was Bianca.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. But you coming in with this monologue, but didn't even say shit.
Yo, so Rachel, I watched that scene. I watched that scene 2 or 3 times and was trying to take notes on it. And I'm like, there's really nothing to say about it because they didn't really. You got the drop on this nigga,
Hmm.
the perfect. And I thought this was it almost because she
Yeah,
said, like, she told him to sit the fuck down or stand. You'll be down soon enough. And
yeah,
I'm thinking like, oh shit, this is the final speech before she go ahead and take care of Douda. And obviously, Douda realized this is a non-threatening conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And Alicia's whole point is, your soldiers, your soldiers are tired of working for you. They're gonna work for me as long as I put money in their pockets. Blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Douda tells Alicia, I can kill you with my bare hands. And then of course we have Shaft come in the picture. Strapped, strapped to the back of the head. Get your hands off my woman, nigga. Get your hands off my woman.
Off my woman.
Off my woman, which was crazy. I think I chuckled out loud a little bit when he said it. But I'm thinking like, all right, then, well, maybe Shy's gonna be the one to take out Douda. Because now he sees your face. Like Douda had that look on his face, like, nigga, I cannot wait to pop you.
Yeah.
Like you've seen it in plenty of movies where niggas will tell you, like, nigga, if you gonna kill me, better kill me now. Because I promise, if you let me go, I'm causing chaos on everything that you know and you love. Like, I know who y'all are. I know what y'all try to do. Y'all done came to my spot. You got keys. Like, nah, bro, it's up. It's up. Like, you can't let people like Douda walk away. Like, what's
For
your
sure.
angle? For
For
what?
sure. We brushed over Jake's party, but you just reminded me of the discussion between Trig and Rashad.
Yeah.
Alicia is putting it on Shad because his confidence, his arrogance is so different. He's clearly feeling himself. He's empowered to carry this illegal ass gun. The Shad Shaft that we see now is not the Shad that we met.
Not at all. Well, Rachel, in the words of Tip, niggas ain't shit without black women. Listen, I don't think there's too many people that love. I know there's not too many men that love black women more than I do. I don't think there are, but I was like, come on. Like, I get it, and I get the sentiment of the phrase, I love black women. I'm gonna sing the praises of black women until my last breath. But I'm like, all right, man, y'all gotta chill with these message moments in this show.
For sure. For sure. For sure. It just I still think Trig is going to be the one to take another shot at Douda, but I don't think it's going to be Shad because here's the other
not
part.
worthy opponent.
I don't remember why Rashad was in jail in the first place, but it didn't give murder.
Gave scammer, he probably did the same shit Damien and Jackie Long was doing, nigga.
Right.
Robbery, try to get this corner store. He was out there with them niggas from Juice.
Right.
Like, he was out there with Bishop and them.
So even taking this role as security with your felony, I just don't see you as a fighter. I don't see you as a real shooter like that.
Yeah, man. We don't believe you. You need more people.
So I'm curious, Alicia, but she showed her hand. I think she showed her hand too early. We know that you want to kill Douda. Douda knows this as well. You came here to do and say what? Time's up. Time is ticking. Okay. I feel like you just gave this nigga ammo to go crazy.
That's weird. Like, that's weird. And I know, once again, these shows I look at as more soap opera than drama. I get it. I'm not even tripping. But there's no way you can tell. There's nothing that justifies. Do this another way. You came in with the big bad wolf speech.
Right.
And then you just walked out of there. And now you, like, the same reason, I forget what we were talking about specifically, but the whole when I talked about Douda telling Bakari about his book.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you just showed your hand.
You showed your hand.
Like, if you're gonna pay $30,000 for someone to spy on him, then in one sentence you let him know that somebody's spying on him. Right. It's up to him. It's up to the Bacardi to put those pieces together. But he just told you, like, I got somebody watching.
Right.
The same thing here. Douda is not the person. He's showing you over and over again. Mm-hmm. And if we want to feed more into Deborah's YouTube comment. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't you think in that speech Alicia would mention, like, I know you killed Alonzo? If that were really the case.
Alonzo, I know you killed my brother.
Yes, the whole rundown of all your sins. Like, you would think that happened. Now, maybe obviously in the movies and TV, that usually happens before the trigger's pulled. Like, just that last reminder, this is why this is happening to you, because I know you did X, Y, Z. and obviously we didn't get that. I think is aware. Reddit clearly knows. I think fans of the show know. Like you need Douda. Like you just kind of need him to keep some of these things alive. But
Yeah.
man, I really wish that scene went a different way because it just didn't make sense to leave him alive.
Right.
Like, what was the point of the intimidation factor? I don't get it.
I'm on to you. Duh. Somebody tried to kill me. I know.
Yeah.
I know it was you. That's silly. I want to save Nuck and Emmett and them for last, so we can do Tierra and Marcus. Which I know we have more on them, but it could have definitely gone into what the fuck are we doing?
It could have gone in that area. It didn't, because for those who are familiar with Rachel and myself, between multiple podcasts, you kind of know that I always enjoy having relationship conversations with Rachel. And this is interesting. What would you do? Or what were your thoughts on this? And it's not like it was anything brand new. They just remixed the same story.
Yeah.
But we knew last week in the men's circle where Marcus was talking about how he hasn't been in a relationship in a long time. He's not used to being in a relationship. And, somebody told him, whether it was Darnell, Emmett, Trigg, one of them said, you should tell her that.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's the best policy. Marcus wants to go watch the game with the fellas. All right. It's almost like a text. Like all the fellas out there listening, y'all know exactly what this is. It's almost like that text. It's not like you can't go.
Yeah.
But if you do go, it's gonna be some shit that you got to deal with.
Yeah.
And he wants to go watch the game with the fellas, which is perfectly fine. I'm all for doing your own thing and continuing to like feed into yourself. Because I think that helps the relationship as a whole. What did you think about the way Tierra presented it, right? Because it sounded like Marcus had this. Here's the big thing: compromise and communication are severely lacking from their relationship. They lack from a lot of relationships. This is a prime example of that, right? So it sounds like both of them were finding out for the first time of each other's feelings. Marcus is just now finding out that Tierra wanted to spend time with him, and Tierra is just now finding out that Marcus was going to the game.
Yeah.
Right? Tierra asks him, or says, I thought we were going to be able to spend some time together. At that point, you're Tierra, Rachel. You're Tierra. How do you feel about Marcus going to the game anyway, knowing that you did not check with him to see if he had anything else going on, whatever the case may be?
I think so. I don't really be giving a fuck. So
right.
There's that aspect. Howsoever, I don't know that you didn't already have these plans. Now, are you just deciding to do this on the fly and I've not said anything to you about wanting to do XYZ today? I think for me, I have a general issue with this of people feeling, no matter our relationship, feeling owed my time, my energy, like you just expect it, it's yours, I can do whatever. And that's what I got a little bit for Tierra, because why wouldn't you say, hey, I want to do something tonight, like let's stay in this and the third. We haven't seen Marcus at work at all. So since Douda beat his ass, so are you working from home? I don't know what the hell you be doing all day. So I'm wondering how all day went by and nobody said, hey, I'm gonna go watch the game. Oh, I want to stay home, this and the third. I would have been irritated, like, oh, okay, that's what's up. But I don't think that it would have been grounds for the blow up. I mean, we know she felt some kind of way about the pictures and him not being willing to share. So again, this is where other elements, that all of that throwaway shit, if we dive into the storylines that we already have and have been longish established, we get maybe there's been things bubbling under the surface between Marcus and Tierra prior to, because at Gemma's brunch, they seem fine. Taking pictures, they seem fine. The issue only came when she ain't know that nigga didn't want to send them out, And so now there's that. And now I wanted to spend time with you. Had you not been spending time with this nigga? Had y'all just been coexisting in this house? Because you said you damn near live here. So if y'all damn near live together, ain't y'all spending time together all the time? I don't get it.
and to add on to that, Rachel, here's what threw me off a little bit once I thought about it. She didn't say I want to go to the movies. She didn't say I want to go to dinner. She said I thought we could stay in and spend some time together. And you just said it, Rachel. We're not doing anything special except for probably sitting on this couch, flipping through Paramount,
Yeah.
or Showtime, and shooting the shit.
Yeah. You already in your
Aren't we doing
pajamas.
that? Aren't we doing that all day? To your point, Rachel.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I would have been more on. I would have been more on Tierra's side if that's how you want to word it. Had they was like, hey, I wanted to do this. But I think the main issue in this is the communication and compromise. We
Yeah.
know obviously that neither one of them are used to checking in, as Marcus said, or kind of like putting someone else's schedule or aligning it with yours. That
Yeah.
happens with a relationship. I get it. For me, it was more so about that compromise. That could have easily been prevented. There's an easy way to get around that.
Yeah.
A, talk about what your day's looking like, what your plans are.
Yeah.
B, okay, well, my bad. You know what? You're right. I should have checked in and seen what you had going on. We didn't talk about weekend plans. That's my bad. That's my bad, babe. I tell you what, either A, the game ain't that deep and I'm gonna stay in. However, I do want to get with the fellas.
Yeah.
At some point. I think that's important. Explain why fellowship with the brothers is important.
Because y'all just
I hate
had the man circle. Goddamn.
Just had the man circle, man. I understand. Like I need this to be a better version of myself. I need this so I can maybe serve you better. I get that. So maybe if not today, then tomorrow, or in that same vein, as we get older, we all realize not everybody's schedule is the same. It's not like when we're 23 and we can just hit each other up. We can go out Thursday through Saturday and kick it. Like, nah, we all got business, we got families, we got whatever the case is. So hey, we already designated this time. Once again, my apologies for not communicating that with you. I didn't know you had plans for us.
Yeah.
I seen you lounging in your pajamas all day. I thought you was chilling.
Yeah.
I thought you was gonna have some wine or whatever. So I'll tell you what, I'm gonna go out with the fellas. I'm gonna try not to make it too late. I'm gonna leave at halftime or whatever the case is. I'll leave in the third quarter. Let's come back, watch a movie, come back and talk. Or tomorrow we'll have a whole day dedicated to whatever you want to do. It's gonna be me and you, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
Boom. Simple fix. Free game for everybody out there listening.
But here's the other part. We ain't seen Tierra with Nan Fran.
Right.
In the 3 seasons we've known her.
Yeah.
That's part of the problem.
I was gonna say, yeah. She need a hobby.
You need something to do. You ain't fake with Trig and doing the political shit. What do you do?
Mm-hmm. That's a big part.
We even see Fatima with some friends.
At 19, I'll never forget at 19 in Toledo, I was dating this girl. She was still in Cincinnati. And she would like when I tell you like every hour hit me up calling about something. I remember I hit a point and I told her, I said, you need a hobby. Like you need to join the book club. You need to do something to kind of give you some time for yourself to kind of you can't constantly be dependent on me. We ain't even in the same city right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, y'all know how that went, how that ended up. But yeah, it was just one of those. I think that's important in general, no matter who you are. You need your me time. You need your space. It's not realistic to be around somebody all day. It's not realistic to be a mom all day. Like, of course, you're always going to be a mother, but you still need to be a person. You still have other responsibilities that you owe yourself. And I just thought that was just poorly handled on both ends. I was upset that Marcus just didn't say that. They told him the game. They told him how to handle this. Like, tell her.
And you too old to not know.
Yeah. I guess I'm not used to checking in. Nigga, you're not used to checking in. That's something you say up front. And then even for her to just jump back, well, maybe you should be single. Like, whoa.
How did we get here?
Yeah, I'm not saying about that. Even him with even her, both of them were a little bit guilty. Like, what if I'm not here when you get back? Like, stop with the dramatics.
Stop playing.
Stop with the dramatics.
Like, name one nigga in the hood you know play like that. Because I don't call a bluff.
If that's all it's going to take for you to leave,
you're going to have to stand on it.
Stand on that business. Rachel, bitch, you're going to make you stand on business. Oh, you said what? Okay, prove Prove it, my nigga.
Prove it. Okay.
Yeah, at this point, prove it.
Yeah, fuck you.
That's what I thought. Your ass still gonna be here when I get back. Shut up. But yeah, I don't know. Once again, the conversation and the scenario itself is interesting.
Yeah.
It is also borderline. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, for sure.
What are we doing with this?
For
Like,
sure.
and I'm not invested enough to care whether y'all break up and stay together anyway. I
Yeah.
really don't care as a viewer. So
It
whatever.
doesn't matter. Cause Shad is with Alicia now. He ain't about to be chasing behind Tierra at this juncture.
Nah, Alicia got that nigga. Alicia got shot up here.
Clean.
Yeah, it's a wrap. Like, he don't even see no other women right now.
Come on. That's crazy. Speaking of seeing no other women, let's get into Nook and Emmett and Keisha.
My son.
I knew when we saw Nook in part 1 show up to Keisha and Emmett's house, when he apologized for everything that happened with Keisha not coming to get her like the fuck he should have. I knew that he still wanted Keisha. So now I know that we have this child and I got more money than your nigga who I don't fuck with anyway. This my son.
And we had a real ass relationship. This wasn't no accident. Like, I mean, it was an accident, but it wasn't like a one night type of thing. Me and you was locked in.
Yeah. We loved each other.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a hard couple episodes for Emmett. Today was rough.
I'm telling you right now, listen, if I'm Emmett, there's a lot of things to go into with this, but one of those things is, and I think you said it, Rachel, we ended because of like outside scenarios. Yeah. We didn't end because our relationship ran its course. Emmett, you a strong man, my brother, especially at that age, because that is something. I don't care how. I'm not gonna say I don't care how good me and Keisha are. However, it's a natural human thing to think about.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think it warrants a conversation. If I'm Emmett, I'm not going to Keisha and asking like, "So, what's up with you?" But I think that's a certain level of insecurity.
Yeah.
That bleeds out, but she's not giving you any reason to think that this is all in your head. It's more about Nuff than it is Keisha. Side note, you know what I just thought about?
What?
I think episode 1. Not episode 1, but episode 1 of this part of the season.
Part 2.
Part 2, yeah. Be careful. Do we need a condom? Is Keisha about to have another baby?
Nigga, I said that.
You did say that, but now it makes even more sense. That's the only thing that will stop the whole, like, if Keisha ends up pregnant, and I would not be surprised if these next 2 episodes, Keisha's taking a pregnancy test and she realizes she's pregnant with Emmett baby, maybe that shuts down the whole nut thing. Either way, just knowing that Nuck is in the picture, not like a bad guy per se, like even with what he does, you can see why Keisha was attracted to Nuck.
For sure. I would fuck with Nuck.
Nuck is 1,000% your type of nigga. 1,000%. You can see it, and it's easier when when you the dude following the shit bag.
Yeah.
You just look like the champion of the world, right? Everything you do is right. Nuck wasn't necessarily that. Like, yes, I don't necessarily agree with his profession, but nigga solid. He made sure I was good, looked out, other than not picking me up how he should have.
Yeah.
I really ain't never had no issue with him. I love this nigga, right? So I get that aspect of it. But the larger thing, and this is, I've never co-parented or anything like that, but
right.
Nuck is happy, and I think it is refreshing and happy. We know this happens in real life. There is something about seeing a black man on screen, like actively. I have a child. Like I'm loving this.
Trying.
I'm trying. I want to show it for my son. Once again, same way we talked about Marcus and Tierra, communication. There was no communication about Halloween or trick or treat.
Yeah.
And Nut pulled up, I'm taking my son trick or treating. Fuck you on.
Yeah.
He's like, you ain't got to keep saying that. We know he your son, nigga. Like,
But he does, because here's the thing. We know, but it got to be real for all of us. Like, this is my son. I didn't think I had one. Ronnie is 2.
I say around 2.
Yeah. I didn't know that I had a child. I have to make up for this time. I loved, quote unquote, Keisha for what it's worth, or still love her, this and the third, you know? So I have to remind you, Emmett, little nigga that I think is a chump any fucking way, with my bitch, this is my child. It's not yours. So here's the thing. Shift has to happen. Emmett has been raising Ronnie as one of his children, but now Big Daddy is home. Daddy is home. Okay?
Oh, shit.
I need to stomp with the big dogs, nigga. This is my son. And I, unlike you, got money. I, unlike you, only have this one child. So,
nigga, unlike you, nigga, I don't miss. Nigga, like, I'm about that life too.
Don't miss. Hello, somebody. So, again, I appreciate that Emmett stepped up and he loved Keisha and he loved Ronnie. However, the reality of the situation is, and Emmett and Nuck are going to have to figure this out. Your parental role is different now that daddy is home. Not some dead nigga who abused my woman, the nigga that she was actually fucking with, the nigga that she actually loved, wink, wink. It's gonna be different. It's gonna be tricky. And Emmett and Keisha have to sit down with Nuck, who we know is still carrying a torch for Keisha, and figure out a way how we navigate this situation.
Yeah.
We can't keep it how it's been, but we've got to sit down and figure out something.
And that was my only issue with everything. The fact that they're having this conversation, Emmett felt the need to have that conversation while they're actively trick or treating, versus, hey, somebody should have been the adult in the room and said, all right, this changes things. Even when they had their meeting, when they introduced Ronnie to Nuck as his father, maybe in that same meeting, hey, let's have a talk and let's discuss how we're going to go about this.
Yeah.
Once again, as you pointed out, Rachel, you can tell that Nuck has he looks at Emmett as a little nigga.
For sure.
But with that being said, I do respect the fact that he is open to.
Yeah.
There's almost like a respect of, hey, you happen, whether I knew this was my seed or not, you did step up and take care of somebody else. You knew it wasn't yours, regardless of whose it was. I do respect that. I respect that my son has started his life in a loving home with parents who care about him.
Yeah.
However, everything you just said, Rachel, this changes. Like, I am here, and I'm not just here in like to drop off some money and bounce. Like, I want to be active.
Yeah.
So we all, the three of us, need to sit down and figure out what this looks like, how this is going to go, and take it from there.
Yeah.
And there are little things that they showed in this episode. Like, yeah, we don't rate, like, just because he doesn't get what he wants, we don't want to spoil him. Once again, one of those message moments, the little white kids can walk while spoiled in the title. Why can't mine? Like, all right, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
You get what you're saying. It's just, that doesn't make it right for them either. Like, you get what I'm saying?
It don't make it right. But also, look, I gotta make up for lost time. So hell yeah, I'm a DoorDash my baby some fucking gobstop. Well, not no gobstoppers. Some
gobstoppers is crazy.
Some gushers.
2-year-old eating gobstoppers is wild. That's wild.
I'm a DoorDash my baby some gushers. Fuck is you talking about, nigga?
Yeah, that's a natural reaction from Nuck. Like, I don't know. This is all new to me. This parent thing is new to me. All I know as a parent is like, nigga, my whole life has now been dedicated to this person.
Right.
Like, what my baby wants, my baby gonna get. Because I can afford it. I'm not struggling for it.
Exactly. And nothing's in the streets. Ain't no telling what his parentage looked like. You know what I'm saying? So now he really may be trying to look, heal his own inner child by showing up for this new baby that he just found out about, and you missed the first 2 years of his life. So now, hell yeah, I'm gonna go extra hard. Hell yeah, I'm showing up for trick or treating unannounced. I'm showing up with a GI Joe and whatever the fuck else. I'm door dashing these gushers. What do you need? And yeah, he live here with you, but nigga, this my son.
Straight up.
And
And
here's the thing. Me and Keisha have to talk about it. The reality is, unfortunately, despite the fact that he's lived with you and you've parented him, you have no say.
being the stepdaddy or the daddy that stepped up, however you want to word it, man, it's not an easy role, especially when the father is still around.
Yeah.
And there are certain things you have to respect. And I'm sure that's going to be difficult for Emmett because you have spent the past 2 years or however long raising him as your own. But now
Yeah.
that's not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to be there, be available for them if they need anything or advice to provide like you've been providing. But however, when it comes to the ground rules of how we're raising this, and it might even be a little bit unfair because he still spends time in my home with my other children.
Yeah.
There's one thing to be said about, everybody might remember the famous Twitter moment that brings over McDonald's for his son, doesn't bring over McDonald's for the other kids.
Yeah.
You don't want those moments where, I'm treating him differently because I'm your father, but not his.
Yeah.
Right. So, but then you
But
still
that's
got
how
kids.
it's
Yeah,
gonna go.
that's how it's gonna go. It's
How
tricky.
gonna
It's a
go.
tricky situation.
And I did not even think about this. Oh, Lord. None of them other kids live with Emmett except for Ronnie.
Yeah.
So yeah, you and Tiff cool, but you just start fucking with them other kids in part one.
Right.
We knew they existed, but you wasn't fucking with them like that. That was part of the storyline when the baby mamas got into it. You know what I'm saying? So your own parenting is now being called into question. The only child, which is not yours biologically, that you show up for every single day, get up with this, that, and the third. Now you're not even about to be able to do that the way that you have been, the way maybe you want to, because Big Daddy is here, who looks at you like a
Hey,
little
you
nigga.
gotta relax. You gotta relax. Big daddy shit. She said, big nut, not the little one.
Big Nuck, not the little one. Hello? Do you see that nigga? Please. Where the hood niggas at?
Oh man, but nah, that's a real shit though, man. Like nut. Hey, listen, I'll listen. Nut carried a certain way.
Period. He walks
Carried
her.
a certain way.
Yeah. And
Jesus,
he said he's a fucking gangster for Halloween. Stop playing with Nut.
yeah, man. Like that's just something that he gonna have to deal with. That's just something. I mean, that's Emmett's worst. This is Emmett's worst nightmare for real, for
Yeah,
real.
for sure. For
Yeah,
sure. He
because the
don't want
first
her
time, like, I'm extra
ever.
nice to Keisha. Because the first time me and Keisha have it out, man, I'm not trying to have. It's gonna start as one of them vent sessions. You go to Nuck and man, Emmett did this. Next thing you know,
Yeah.
yeah, man. All right.
Did you see Keisha's hesitation when she said, "You don't love me no more"? I mean, not like that. Ah.
Because she never had the opportunity to truly process those feelings.
Exactly.
Like, I love you. I just stopped loving you out of necessity. Like
Yeah.
my life couldn't even process everything due to other things that were going on.
Yeah.
Obviously, there might be still a little bit of resentment because
For sure. Why the fuck
we
you
all
ain't
know,
tell me?
yeah, we all know the blame game and how that goes. Like, I don't hate you, but there is a little bit of me that thinks like this would have never happened had you been on your shit. I get it. But yeah, it's a funny little thing. Like I've said before, man, I know what a nigga who looks like that can take your girl, right? I know what a nigga looks like that can take your girl.
Nut
And
got
all
height.
you,
He got money.
if you Emmett, all you can do is hope and pray
Yeah.
and be on your best behavior
That's it.
because you got a lot of other things going on in your life as well.
For sure. He
And
can actually protect us.
Hey man, it's a tough situation. I wouldn't want to be Emmett right now. That's all I'm saying.
Not at
And
all.
this is coming from somebody who feels 1,000% he that nigga.
For
There's
sure. Get
also
you a nigga who really know how to shoot.
I can have you courtside, not the middle rows. You feel me? Like,
Come on. Come
oh man, that's the worst thing. That's all right, man. I think
We've covered it all, I
this,
believe.
this motherfucker Rachel said he walks heavy. Get the fuck out of here, Rachel. Uh, with that being said, I don't think there's anything else to add to this episode. I think we pretty much covered it all. I will say this. Shout out to you, Rachel.
Oh, shout out to you.
Giving this how disjointed this season, even some of these episodes have been. I really think this has been a great conversation about
For
the
sure.
show.
For sure.
We got an hour 40 minutes, which is not what I would have expected, but
Not at all.
great conversation about the show. Being able to find great talking points, even in the midst of chaos, I think it's a talent. I want to salute you for spearheading this thing, and obviously, I'm just proud to be a part of it with you. We have 2 more episodes of The Shy. Also, for all those listening, House of the Dragon next week.
Come on. Come on.
Obviously, it's streaming on Max. It's going to come out on Sunday evening. But we got y'all. We'll have an episode. Rhaenyra's Revenge.
Come on.
Officially
for
the next 10 weeks, we will be referring to Ray P as Rhaenyra on these episodes. Yeah. Straight up. And I'm excited to get into that with you. I'm excited to. I'm always excited to talk to you. I'm curious to see how these next 2 weeks of the Shy is going to play out.
Yeah.
Everybody knows how I feel about penultimate episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Those are supposed to be the one. I'm hoping that it delivers. I'm hoping that they saved all their heat for these last 2 weeks. Maybe they can kind of redeem themselves from some of the missteps and give the people what they want. Got to give the people. My fault. All right, y'all. With that being said, Rachel, I love you.
I love you.
I appreciate you as always.
Sure.
Everybody out there, we appreciate, we love y'all. Whether you're listening, like I said, whether you're watching on YouTube, please be sure to like, subscribe, rate, comment, tell a friend to tell a friend.
Yes.
2 shows going at the same time starting next week.
Yeah.
Wrapping up The Shy, as well as talking about House of the Dragon. So, Rachel, leave it to you.
Yes. Again, thank y'all for listening or watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Let us know what y'all think. Whatever comments or theories that y'all have, let us know. That's it. I love y'all. Thank you. Peace out. Be safe. Happy Juneteenth. Be blessed. See y'all later. Peace.
Happy Juneteenth. Celebrate. Peace.